Hi guys and welcome. So today we are going to be taking a first look at the assets that are going to feature within Human Extinction. I just wanted to provide you guys with an update. I think this is going to be 3 parts where I'll go through what the assets look like. As you can see here, we have a bedside table. We'll then go through the UV maps and then the textures of what they look like in engine. So as you can see, this is the bedside table. Simple 3 doors, handles, and feet. Pretty straightforward. Nothing too challenging. Same here with the big window. Just a couple of indents, obviously, that you can see here. And then it's the same on the other side. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Ceiling light, once again, pretty straightforward. Didn't want to add a lot of polys to this, to be honest. I mean, as you can see in the top left-hand corner there, it's only 77,000 polys for all of these that feature here, and there is a enemy mesh in there as well for a character. So yeah, that's the ceiling light. Pretty straightforward, just a simple extrusion, an indent. So here we have the hospital armchair. Now this was supposed to have cushions all along this all along these faces here, and up the back and on the actual arms. But when it came to UVing, it proved a bit too difficult, and so they were deleted just for ease, essentially. These are the character arms. Positioned for how they would be used within engine. Yeah, pretty high poly, well, fairly high poly, but pretty straightforward as well. Used with simple extrudes and then turbo smooth. Next we move on to the computer desk, which, as you might notice, looks this section here looks relatively similar to the bedside table. That's because I made the computer desk as it was, took that quarter there, capped it all, and turned it into the bedside table, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. As you can see, once again, pretty straightforward, simple legs, not making it super extravagant. The indent on the drawers and the 3 drawers on either side. Here we have the computer desktop. I was aiming for like a more older style PC, so I just went for a simple rounded box shape with 2 indents on it, one for a like a cartridge slot, and then the other one for cables, etc. This is the keyboard. Once again, obviously not massively poly heavy. To do every single key would be an absolute nightmare, maybe for a future project, but for this I just wanted to keep it simple, get the nice shape for it, and then what I'll do is I'll project a PNG of an actual keyboard onto this. As for the cable's not too bad, it's not that high poly, but it acts as a cable that runs into the back of the desktop. Computer mouse, once again, aiming for an older style PC. So we went for the big box monitor with the raised front screen. Pretty straightforward, mainly just the edge loop tool being used, the edge control tool, so turning a set of straight faces into circular faces, and extrusions. Here we have the computer mouse. I just took a simple box, applied a lot of subdivisions to it, and modelled it from that. Obviously, as you can see, once again, simple cable coming out, and as for the actual mouse itself, it's pretty much symmetrical either side. Here we have the cupboard. Here we have a medical cupboard. So literally just a simple rectangle with a couple of edge loops, couple of chamfered corners as well. The same with the indents on the inside to show where the glass is. Simple handles just taken from a cylinder and then not a cylinder, a cube, which was then turbo smooth, and then that's the lock for the actual cupboard as well. Pretty straightforward once again. Double doors here. These are like the main doors that will lead you to the end of the level. As you'll see in a minute, I took the one side of one door and then turned that into a single door that's also used throughout the level. Pretty straightforward for this. Took a cylinder and then took the edge and just rotated it to a 45-degree angle and copied it, joined it all up together. So you've got the hard-edged handles. As for the actual window pane, it's just a couple of insets and extrusions done like that. Now we come on to the IV drip stand. This was a little more challenging because as I made the model, I thought it was perfectly fine. But then when I came to UVing it, there was a lot wrong with the model. There were many like open faces down here on the wheels, like hidden behind. And then also like working with a shape that's a pentagon is like extremely challenging. So I just ran a simple seam all the way down the middle, and it split it fairly nicely. So enemy mesh here, as you can see, this was exported from Make Human. I just I didn't have the time to create my own character mesh. I altered one of the hands and just like cut it down. I want to chamfer these edges so the like nubs are a lot smoother and not as hard edged. But this will act as the enemy mesh for the mutants. Here we have a hospital bed, literally made from a rectangle that I just essentially deleted faces from and connected back together. Pretty simple, does the job. What I was thinking with this is like obviously because it's like a rundown hospital, they were on like dire straits by the time that they were using these. So like these were just like a cheaper alternative. They also use like camp beds and stuff like that. Here we have a key, just a simple key, same on either side, obviously. Just modelled off a basic key shape. Once again, basically just extrusions, chamfered the edges to round them off. Edge management tool, obviously for the central circle. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Medical fridge. Once again, similar to the cupboard, it's just obviously a box, a cube with a couple of extrusions that have been chamfered, and then a door that's already open, so you can see inside the medical fridge. I do have some like rubbish that I'll be putting in the medical fridge and stuff like that. But yeah, once again, pretty straightforward. It also has a temperature gauge and a lock as well. Here we have a padlock for the key. So obviously the key is like the main item that you have to find throughout the level to use to unlock the padlock at the end to escape the level and face the boss. So obviously alongside the simple key, I also did the simple padlock. It was a lot more more poly heavy to begin with, but after looking at it and revising what it looked like, I was able to cut the poly amount down by about 3/4, I would say. Here we have the single door, like I said earlier. Only difference here being that it's a bigger pane of glass. There's also the handle mechanism there, which is just a chamfered box. And then I took the handle from the double door and extruded this end a bit and rounded it off there as well and added it in. Here we can see a small window, so it's just the same as the big window but tightened down. Here we have the static sink that would be in like the corner of most like rooms. yeah, it's nothing fancy. It's motion detected, so like the water is dispersed like that. But obviously, the water it's not within a usable state at this time either. So it has a front cabinet there that can be opened. Here we have the stool just for like doctors to sit on in the room. At the start of the project, this was one of the most challenging ones, mainly because this was like one of the first ones that I did, and I was still learning, obviously, about the edge management tool. A lot of this, what I did was I modelled the one leg and copied and pasted it all around and like reconnected it. Proved to be pretty grueling at the time, but it was good once the final product was made. Here we have a trash pile that consists of a water bottle, a coffee cup, and 2 pieces of wood. I just altered one of the pieces of wood and then duplicated it for the second one. Turned one upside down and then kept one the other way around. As for the water bottle, it's just a simplified cylinder really, with a couple of extrusions and a couple of indents. Nothing too grueling. And then as for the coffee cup, I took a cylinder, took the top off it, and then shelled the coffee cup, just to simulate something that you might find within a hospital. Then we move on to the waste bin, hazardous waste bin. Yeah, it's got the pedal at the bottom to lift the top, the 4 feet at the bottom as well. Once again, simple rectangle that has a couple, the extruded top and the extruded bottom, and then the hazardous waste sign there, which will have a hazardous waste JPEG on it. And then as for the last and not least, the water elemental projectile that's going to be fired in game. This is going to be the main projectile. Yeah, I literally just took a box, turbo smoothed it so that the UVs were a lot nicer, and then applied a noise map to it. So yeah, that's everything for the asset production. They're all of the assets that are going to be used in game. I will be updating you shortly with the UVW maps of each of the models. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, guys.